are 5 points for Sydney Swarenga, 3 points for Allison Lee Meyer, 2 points to Kimberly Chen, and the 1 point for fourth place goes to Juliette Versailles of the Juventus Cycling Club. The other rule that matters in a points race is take a lap, lose a lap. If you go up a lap, you will gain 20 points. If you go down a lap, you will lose 20 points. So in a short points race like this, taking a lap is basically a guaranteed win because there's only 15 points for the 3 sprints, but there's 20 points if you take a lap. So right now we have our 3 lead riders on the field as Chen leads them over the line, Lee Meyer in the pink and black kit, and it's Sydney Swarenga in the middle. She is your leader on the road because she took 5 points in the first sprint, and now it looks like Lee Meyer is going for it. She's pedaling pretty hard, and she's coming over the top, and Swarenga struck back on terms. We were able to see Sydney's father, Tom Baker, racing earlier this evening. And we'll surely see him later, but now it's Chen counterattacking, and she's going hard. She's putting Lee Meyer in difficulty, and Sydney Swarenga is chasing for all her life. Meanwhile, we've got the 2 Juventus teammates. They're rolling through. They're working together, but they got to pick it up because they're about to get caught by Chen and Lee Meyer. With 13 laps to go, it'll be interesting to see how this comes down. Once Chen and Lee Meyer catch the 2 Juventus riders, those riders will go down a lap, but they will still be able to sprint. And indeed, there's a sprint coming up in 2 laps. So Chen and Lee Meyer have put the 2 Juventus riders down a lap. We'll see how the officials score that. They've scored it as minus 20 rather than plus 20. So Juliette Versailles is now on minus 19 points, and her teammate Catherine Williams is on minus 20. And we're at the sprint. Lee Meyer leading it out. Chen right on her wheel, but now eligible for the sprint will be the 2 Juventus riders. So they are sprinting for points in 3rd and 4th. Sydney Swarenga trying to get back on terms, but as we go back to the sprint, it's Lee Meyer by a mile. Chen takes an easy 2nd. 3rd and 4th will go to Versailles and Williams, so Versailles will add another 2 points to her tally, and 1 to Williams. Swarenga still on the lead lap, but she doesn't get any points in that sprint. So after 2 sprints, we'll have a bit of a reshuffling of the order, and I suspect that Lee Meyer will be in the lead as we look at 9 laps to go and 1 more sprint. And Lee Meyer is away to the races. She's got about a quarter lap on the rest of the field. Chen returned back to the now caught up group of 4, but Lee Meyer just stayed out and kept on going. So let's see if Lee Meyer can take a lap here. Cheer this young rider on, Allison Lee Meyer. She is racing for the Burnaby Velodrome Club, so this is your home team on the front of this race right now. 7 laps to go. Chasing down a flagging field. She's got about a half a lap now. Come on, Allison Lee Meyer, you can do it. Get around there. Big solo breakaway by this rider. And the chase is on. Kimberly Chen leading them around. Now Swarenga at the front. Those 2 riders have the most to play for because they're still well in touch in terms of possibly winning this race. But Lee Meyer continues to tap it out. I'm looking across the track as we speak. I would say that Lee Meyer is about 3 bike lengths short of a half a lap now, so she's got to keep it going. She's got to keep gaining on these riders. But it looks like she's kind of going the wrong way, stepping up, but she might not care because there's only 4 laps left in this race. If she just stays right where she is, she will take the final sprint and she will win this race. Because right now Lee Meyer has 8 points, while Swarenga and Chen are tied on 5. So that means if you watch, the sprint between Swarenga and Chen will be very, very important in a few laps, because basically the winner of that sprint will definitely take 2nd place at least. And if they catch Lee Meyer, although that's looking like a faint hope at this point, they might be going for more. Lee Meyer continuing to do what it takes. She's got only 2 laps to go. I think she's uncatchable now, so cheer on Allison Lee Meyer. She attends duking it out for second place and third. And the two Juventus riders racing for the minor placings and for honor. As Lehmeyer takes the ball, cheer her on. She's going to win this points race. But Swarenga and Chen are sprinting, and they're coming hard. Chen over the top. She's going up. Come on, Kimberly Chen, you've got to sprint this out. You want to win second, don't you? But Swarenga's gapping her now, so it's Lehmeyer for the win. Swarenga for second. Kimberly Chen will take third. And Juliette Versailles will get fourth place. Nice racing there in that little points race. Next up, we're going to have another points race. It's going to be epic. I believe this is going to be the U19 and Masters boys and men points race. We're just looking for the official results on the U17 race. All right, so we're rolling around for the U17, U19, and Master C men's points race final. This will be a 50-lap race, so sprints every 10 laps. That's a 10-kilometer total distance for you. So, starting from the railing, number 401, Aaron Stagg, resplendent in the blue, gray blue, black, and white kit. Followed by number 403, Ben Morin, racing only for himself. Number 405, Oscar Wong, in the distinctive red and blue Argyle triple shot kit. Number 526, Caden Calling, for the Beachy Sports, all the way from Alberta. He's being chased around by number 528, my close personal teammate for the Devo Cannondale squad, Manu Moore. And right behind him, certainly not least, Remy Garrison, also racing for the triple shots. And down at the bottom of the rail, at the bottom of the track, we've got Monty Rigby in the green, number 402, Alexandre Miranda, number 404, in the blue and white kit of the Juventus Cycling Club. He is followed by Campbell Parrish, number 517. And then I've got Cam McCallum from Langley, British Columbia, and I believe he's racing in the Cycling BC kit, but I'll check that for you. And also number 530, Nicholas Muir of the Juventus Cycling Club. And the starter teams, well, There may have been a technical difficulty, but no start on that lap, so we'll try again as starter Kim has raised her shooting iron to the sky. Actually, it's just a starter's cap pistol. Don't worry, no lives were in danger. And away we go, 50 laps to go. And it's Rigby leading them out, but he immediately pulls up. So these riders are going to be sprinting every 10 laps. Same format as before. So it's going to be 5, 3, 2, and 1 for the sprints. And it's double points on the final sprint. So the last sprint will be 10, 6, 4, and 2. This is the modern UCI World Cup sprint format, now becoming universal.
Howdy indeed. I was greatly misinformed about how a Western Challenge worked. Jokes. How you doing? Yeah, I've got, I think everything's set up for our race, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna work. We're gonna have chip timing for you, so, and I'll have, we're doing it all in-house, and we'll probably be ready to start working with other teams again by the end of this year, maybe in cyclocross season, depending. Our biggest thing right now is just getting enough active people to run the system, but we've got it back sort of where we're able to work and support each other. We're also going to have lead and follow vehicles for the race, so should be okay. And I promise you, it's the nicest, easiest finish to adjudicate, because we basically put them up an extremely steep hill right before the finish line. They come. I know. We do this all for you guys, and also because I never ever want to see a race with a downhill finish. That's my rule. I'm doing race direction. Janine's doing a lot of the setup stuff, but I've got the cars in hand, and we did a site visit. They're expecting us. It's going to be pretty much business as usual, and we've got a good crew for the timing and scoring. You'll meet them, the guys that you worked with more or less at the PNE races last year. Mark and Joe. Yeah. It'll be Joseph Uchfalusi, who I don't know if you met, but that's Heidi's husband. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go and answer the race, but I will talk to you soon, man.
And away we go. We've got 42 laps left in this race, so we're winding it up for the sprint, even though these riders have come and been pretty good. Well, Compacto for the first 8 laps. It's not Compacto anymore. It's a sprint at the front. Led out by rider number 526, who is, of course, one of the riders here. That's Caden Calling leading it, and over the top of him, but not enough. It's rider 527. That's Cam McCollum. Third place will go to, I believe that's going to be Remy Garrison. And then I think fourth was one of the Juventus riders. I'll get the scoring for you in a moment. So, first sprint goes to Caden Calling of the Beachy Sports, number 526. Then Cam McCollum, Remy Garrison, and Nicholas Muir from the Juventus Cycling Club. And then we are back on terms, more or less, although we've got a few stragglers who are hauling it to get back with that first group. But I think they'll have a chance, because you can see the lead group, the peloton here, is all above the blue line. They're taking it easy. Maybe they're just being gentlemanly and letting those riders catch up. Who knows? Not really known bike racers to be just casually nice for no reason, so I think they all needed a rest after that sprint. The group is led around at a leisurely cool-down pace by Caden Calling. 36 laps left, lots of sprints. So once again, a lot of these riders will be looking at the score sheet and thinking that taking a 20 points that you get for taking a lap might be pretty worthwhile, especially in a relatively short format points race like this one with only 5 sprints. The math isn't magical in the sense that there are 30 points on the line for winning all of the sprints, whereas there's only 20 points for taking a lap, but while it may not be a mathematical lock to win, it does yourself some good. And one of the riders heard all that stuff about taking a lap and thought it sounded like a good idea, and that would be Manu Moore. Moore gives it a shot and thinks the better of it, but he's gotten some of the other riders working. I believe that's Garrison on the front, chased ably by Cam McCollum. Let me check if that is Remy Garrison. Yeah, rider 532 is Garrison. One of the two triple shots in this race. Once again, there are no teams per se in this race. So even if you see riders wearing the same jersey, unlike in a road race, they are expected to race only for themselves. Or also a Madison, the other mass start team event in track cycling. More on that in a moment as we got a sprint going, and it's Remy Garrison leading the field out. Right on his wheels, one of the Beachy Sport riders. And at the line, it's Garrison and Caden Calling, too close to call. But third place is one of the Cycling BC racers. That would be hard for my old eyes to read, but I believe that's going to be Cam McCollum in third place. And now Cam is sort of, with a bit of a head bob, is giving it a go here. And I'll have to get fourth place off of the finish judges. They'll give me some live results here in a moment. So, your results in the second sprint. Caden Calling, Remy Garrison, Cam McCalling, and Monty Rigby taking fourth place for a point. And it's all shredding apart at the front. You can see Caden, that's Cam McCollum, just destroying this race, and he's got a friend with him. That's Caden Calling. So McCollum and Calling, we were calling their names a lot in the scratch race, and now we're calling them a lot in the points race. And that's Remy Garrison and one of the Juventus riders trying to chase them down. That'll be, excuse me, that'll be Nicholas Muir of the Juventus Cycling Club. So, overall standings, Caden Calling has taken both of the first two sprints. He's also leading the race right now, and he's in a two-up breakaway with Cam McCollum. McCollum has taken second and third in the sprint, so he has 5 points. Remy Garrison took third and second in the sprints. He has 5 points. And then a single point for Monty Rigby and Nicholas Muir in their two sprints. But right now the action is McCollum and Calling at the front, chasing down all the other riders. They have almost half a lap on the field. Cheer these two young riders on as they attempt to take a lap. Meanwhile, the field is desperately trying to stop that happening. I believe they are led around by Manu Moore in that effort to prevent from getting caught. So the two lead riders, McCalling and Calling, have already caught one of the Juventus riders. And that'll be rider 404, Alexandre Miranda. Now, he'll go down 20 points for his trouble, but at least he can work with these riders and be scored in the upcoming sprint, which is going to be a three-way sprint between these three. So it's, once again, it's Miranda there in third place, but on the front it's now distancing themselves, Calling and McCollum, and at the line it's going to be McCollum by a couple bike lengths for the win, and then Calling in second. Miranda will have taken the third place points because of where he was, and then the field sprint went to someone, possibly Manu Moore there. We will check that on the official results. Your leaders are McCalling and Calling on the field, and you can see they're getting close to catching the field. They've got about 3/4 of the track. Already the back markers are worried. And it's McCollum and Calling, or maybe Calling and McCalling. Anyways, those two guys have just caught the field, and they'll go up 20 points. So it's Caden Calling and Cam McCollum have now gained a lap and will get 20 points for their trouble. That leaves our standings as follows after 3 sprints and the take a lap. In first place, Caden Calling, 33 points. Cam McCollum, 30 points. Remy Garrison, 5 points. Manu Moore, 2 points. Nicholas Muir, 2 points, and Monty Rigby has a single point. 2 sprints left, including double points at the end, and we are more or less Gruppo Compacto. Although Alexandra Miranda is looking to get back on terms, and I think he will. Yeah. I'm looking at the official scoring. They say Miranda never went down a lap. He hasn't been credited with minus 20, so let's take that as a given. I guess Miranda is on even terms. And away we go. It's now activated by, I believe that is Manu Moore going off the front. Number 528, Resplendent in the Devo Cannondale green. He's already got a couple points here, but he'd like a lot more. In fact, he'd like a whole lap to get back on terms with Calling and McCollum. But those two riders and the whole rest of the field are having none of it. And so we're back to even terms. Miranda still there, tapping out the laps. He's yo-yoing off the back, but he keeps coming back. So chapeau to that brave young rider. On the front for the Cycling BCs, once again, it's Cam McCollum. He is right at the front of this bike race in the points tallies against Caden Calling of the Beachy Sports. And here comes Caden Calling. You can see he's in third place, just coming over Manu Moore now. And here's the point sprint. And so it's McCollum on the front, Moore, Calling, and then rider 530, who is Nicholas Muir. And at the line, it's going to be McCollum, Moore, and Calling with fourth place points going to Nicholas Muir. So it's sort of all the same now. 9 laps left. One more sprint. The last sprint will be for 10, 6, 4, and 2 points on the top 4 riders. Double points. It's double points good for the final sprint. As Miranda shakes his head, he's going to get caught by the field here for sure. And the field, though, takes a break. They've got 8 laps left. It's going to be McCollum and Calling looking at each other because they know that this is the race for first. Right now they are on dead even terms after 4 sprints, 35 points each. So whomever finishes best in the final sprint between those 2 riders will basically win this race, because they've also got 20 points each. So unless someone manages to take a lap in 6, which would be pretty crazy if they did, then it'll be McCollum and Calling for the win. But which one? Neither one of them even needs to score points in this final sprint. They're basically sprinting only against each other. And in a points race, tie on the countback is best position in the final sprint. So even if they're 6th and 7th, then 6th place will be the winner of your race. So the riders to keep an eye on are those 2. McCollum in the red Cycling BC jersey and Calling in the blue Beachy Sport kit with the blue highlights and the black background color. And you get the idea. I mean, it's Calling. He's right there at the front of the race right now. You can find him. 4 laps left for these, your U17, U19 racers. And it's only U17, U19. There was one C Masters rider starting within the first race, but we have seen the poor guy off. This is no race for old men, that's for sure. 3 laps remaining. One of the Devos is lighting out, and I believe it's Monty Rigby. And it appears he's got Remy Garrison on his wheel. Rigby and Garrison definitely there for some of the minor placings, because Garrison and Rigby are both sitting in 3rd and 5th place. Foul lap. And again, watch that sprint. It's 5:27 and 5:26 sprinting, and they care only about where they finish relative to each other. They don't need to beat each other. It's a tight sprint, but it looks like it's going to be the local boy, Cam McCollum, takes it in the final sprint for 2nd over Caden Calling. And that completely overlooks the excellent work that Remy Garrison did there to get 10 points. And I believe Garrison, with that final sprint, will clearly vault himself into 3rd place. So nicely done by all those riders. We will get you final results in just a moment. Meanwhile, it looks like we are lining it up. We've got another women's event. It's the women's points race, and I think this is Elite Women. So final results have been scored. Cam McCollum, 41 points. Caden Calling, 39. Remy Garrison, 15. Nicholas Muir sneaking in there with 5 points and winning the tiebreak against Manu Moore with a better final sprint, who also has 5 points and gets 5th place. Monty Rigby in 6th with a single point. And then on the countback, it's Aaron Stagg, Ben Morin, and Oscar Wong, followed by Alexandra Miranda for the top 10. Nicely done, young men. That was fun. And now we go straight into the women's points race. This is going to be another 50-lap event. Same format, sprints every 10 laps. Double points for the final sprint. 20 points if you go up a lap, minus 20 if you go down a lap. Any questions?
It's just a rhetorical figure I throw in there to make you feel good. Audience interaction, like the YouTubers making deliberate mistakes to drive engagement. Yeah, I should take mean tweets. That's right. Well, they promised me I'd be live streamed, and then they're all like, live stream, bro. Oh wait, are we live streaming again? Good, I want to be famous.
All right, well, welcome to all the people around the world who could be watching us, but actually it appears that it's just us watching us. If you have any friends at home, you can phone them right now or possibly text them since you're not, 40, and tell them you can watch this somewhere on YouTube. Look for it. I don't know, probably on the Burnaby Velodrome Club account. It's totally riveting. Anyway, back to some bike racing, where you are going to line up the elite women. It is a small but speedy group here. Riders. No waiting. I'll bet you will see a lot of action because there are no lightweights in this field. So let's introduce you once again to the riders. You need a holder? Yeah. Just arranging for some holders. And I think we've got them. So at the bottom, rider number 409 is, of course, Ribs Majendi, our favorite rib-cracking pre-med student. She claims those ribs were broken purely for research purposes. Rider number 422 for the cycle re-racing is Annie Scott. And right behind her, I believe it is rider 426, Adele Degagne, all the way from Quebec. And up on the top, we've got local girl Diane Snoblin, and she is followed by number 412, Ariane Bonhomme from the cyclery. And away we go, 50 laps.
It was something to behold. She should be sharing prize money in that case, right? It's a team effort.
And away we go. So these early laps, I'm hoping they'll be a little bit relaxed so I can get a cookie eaten, but who knows? We are ably led around by Adele Degagne. She's being chased by Ariane Bonhomme. And then it's fan favorite Ribs Majendi racing in the Trek Red Truck Burnaby Velodrome kit.
Maybe you would, Malcolm.
And it's Degagne on the front. Now ceding the lead to Ariane Bonhomme. And then it's Majendi in line. And I think that's Majendi, Scott, Snoblin, and then Degagne. So on the front right now, it's Annie Scott. 45 laps remaining in this race. won't be long, I think, before we get some action here. You can see that they're cruising around line astern. This is by no means a tepid pace these riders are maintaining there. Keeping it fast here, so it's not easy for an attack to get away when the pace is high. And at the front, it's Snoblin. She's been there for like an entire lap. Field apparently happy to let her stay out there. 42 laps left, so there's only 2 to go before we've got our first sprint of the night for these riders. And they'll get the bell this time around for the first sprint. And it's Bonhomme taking the lead here, and she's away. Snoblin trying to get on terms. Majendi chasing. Remember, points are 4 deep, so most of this field to get at least a score here. And it's Bonhomme at the front. Snoblin, Majendi, and then Scott for points. Degagne is on the outside looking in that sprint, and it looks like they're regrouping a little bit. We'll get the official results for you in a moment. So again, 50 laps here, so that means 5 sprints, last one for double points. And we are once again Gruppo Compacto with 38 to go. There's a healthy respect between these riders for each other. And Majendi takes them around. And now it's the 2 cyclery riders, Scott and Degagne on the, Scott and Bonhomme on the front. So we've got the official scoring, so it was Bonhomme, Snoblin, Majendi, and Scott taking points in the first sprint. And we're at 35 to go. There's a little communication in the field. You can see that they're sort of pretty wide. That tells you it's a fairly relaxed pace right now. But I'm sure it feels anything but relaxed in the middle of the field. And now they stretch it out. Degagne stretching some legs, seeing who's got it in them, seeing who wants to follow her. 34 to go, so it's going to be sprinting soon. And you can see the pace winding up here. These riders will see 32 to go as they come around. Still all together, watching. And they will get the bell this time as the pace ramps up. Degagne on the front. Believe that's going to be Scott on her wheel. Nope, Bonhomme on her wheel. Followed closely by one of the 2 Velodromistas. In fact, both of them. It looks like it's Snoblin in third. That's Bonhomme over the top. Bonhomme leads it, and it's going to be Bonhomme. Woo, too close between Degagne and Snoblin to call. And then Majendi in fourth. "30 laps remaining. 29 to go as they come around. And we'll get the official results on that sprint, especially the close one between, and it was Ariane Bonhomme taking first place again, Diane Snoblin in second, Adele Degagne gets the third place points, and Fiona Majendi for fourth place in that sprint. So, race situation is now Bonhomme 10 points, Snoblin 6 points, Majendi 3 points, Degagne 2 points, Scott 1 point. So everybody is on the score sheet now. 27 laps left. Everything is sort of back to Gruppo Compacto, although it looks like Degagne would like to change that. She attempts to flip the script, but the field is chasing her. So Degagne is currently sitting on 2 points. Don't look back, Degagne. The race is ahead of you, but she might have made a slight split in the field. It's now Degagne, Majendi, and I believe that is Bonhomme in the front three. And then we've got Snoblin and Scott chasing. And that is no bueno if you are one of those two back riders. You do not want to lose touch with this field because that could be fatal. 24 laps remaining. But nope, they're all back together again. Nice. And Gruppo Compacto. 23 to go. They're watching. It's Annie Scott in the sprinter's lane, but she doesn't want to do any work. And so it's Adele Degagne, rider 426 of the wrinkled number in the blue kit. And it looks like Majendi came to the front with purpose, perhaps for that bell. And away we go, 21 to go. Here's the sprint. Majendi leads it out. Believe that's Bonhomme right on her wheel. Majendi to the line, and she's going to take it. Majendi, Bonhomme, Degagne, and Snoblin for fourth place. So nice points there as the results get shuffled up a little bit, but Bonhomme did a lot, and she's probably still happy. She'll still have the lead in points as we go into the next sprint. It's now 19 laps to go, and now it looks like Majendi and Bonhomme have a little bit of a gap. Let's see what they can do with this. So the last sprint was indeed Majendi, Bonhomme, Degagne, and Snoblin. So your overall results after three sprints are Ariane Bonhomme, 13 points. Fiona Majendi, ribs, 8 points. Diane Snoblin, 7 points. Adele Degagne, 4 points. Annie Scott, 1 point. And at the front of the race, it's Bonhomme and Majendi doing some damage as they now have about a third of a lap. That's in the neighborhood of 75 meters and growing. It's almost half a lap now. 16 to go. These are the two leading on the road on the points tally. Both. And they are now ahead of half a lap. They're going to catch this group, I think, at this pace. 14 to go, and they are, so far in this race, the class of the field. And the three riders there chasing and better get a little bit desperate or they're going to get caught. And it's Annie Scott who's having none of it. She takes off, leaving Snoblin and Degagne to do what they can to get on her wheel. Scott does not want to get caught. Meanwhile, Majendi and Bonhomme are having none of it. They are just still coming. They are verging on catching Degagne. 12 laps remain for those two lead riders. And that's Annie Scott coming across the line. She's still separated from them. But Degagne is caught. She'll go down a lap and lose 20 points as Majendi and Scott carry on, or Majendi and Bonhomme carry on. So the lead of your race is in corner 4 right now and coming to the sprint line. It's going to be Bonhomme over Majendi, third place to Degagne. And technically the fourth place sprint, I think, is still out there. It's on Annie Scott. She'll get the fourth place points. 9 to go. And so as soon as the official race results for that sprint come up, we will try to give you a race reset here. So it's Bonhomme with 5, Majendi with 3, Adele Degagne gets 2 points, and Annie Scott for 1. So here's your race situation now. Bonhomme 18 points, Majendi 11 points, Diane Snoblin, 7 points. Annie Scott, 2 points. And Adele Degagne is now on minus 14 points after losing a lap, which is something that's going to happen to Snoblin right about now and to Scott in about another 2 corners. 7 to go. And give these riders a round of applause, but it looks like both Snoblin and Scott are finally caught by the leading 2. So we are now back to Gruppo Compacto with 6 to go. But 3 of those riders have gone down a lap, so they've lost 20 points for their trouble. So that's now Snoblin and Degagne, which changes the point situation too. Bonhomme 18, Magendie 11, Snoblin minus 13, Degagne minus 14, and Scott minus 18. And away goes Degagne. She is not content to accept her fate. She's off to get that lap back with 4 to go. Either that or she might just be setting herself up for a nice, easy 10 points in the final sprint. Because, of course, we've got double points for the final sprint. It'll go 10, 6, 4, and 2. And away! Cheer on, Degagne! She's making a heroic effort here. She's already got near enough half a lap on the field. 3 to go. Can she do it? Keep going, Annie. You've got this. Sorry, that's Adele Degagne. Annie Scott still in the field. So this group of 3 now contains your race leaders. That's Bonhomme, Magendie, and I believe that is Annie Scott in that group of 3. The bell is on Degagne. This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the road coming through, but it's actually 1st and 2nd in the points. It's all very confusing. The core thing is Bonhomme and Magendie are sprinting for first. Degagne is going to improve her position with 10 points right there. Good job. And the sprint here is coming down, and it's Bonhomme, number 412 for 3rd place. Magendie, I think that's 3rd, and 4th place is, believe, being credited to Diane Snoblin. I will get you those final results, but I'm pretty confident your winner, Ariane Bonhomme. So final results now. Ariane Bonhomme from the Cyclery, 24 points. Fiona Ribs Magendie for the Red Trucks, 15 points. Adele Degagne, minus 4. Diane Snoblin, minus 13. And Annie Scott in 5th place with minus 16 points. Good racing. Oh. And next up, we've got the Masters AB men. Next up, we got some bike racing. This, ladies and gentlemen, would be your Masters AB Men's Points Race Final. So let's introduce you to the usual suspects. On the rail, we have Willie Gonzalez in the pink. We've got Matthew Hers in number 540, the white and black Keller Rohrbach kit. And right behind him, we've got Le Professeur Willie Myler, making a slightly late start there. And the white Burnaby Velodrome 25th anniversary kit. On the bottom, it's Tom Baker in the red and black Gastown. Robert Mayfield in the black and white kit. He is racing only for himself. And he came all the way from Colorado Springs to do it. These riders are going to get a 50-lap race. 5 by 10 points race. Double points for the final. 4 deep, scoring 5-3-2-1, 10-6-4-2 in the final. Take a lap, you get 20 points. Lose a lap, you lose 20 points. Let's go bike racing. Boogity, boogity, boogity. The field is led around by Hertz. Gonzalez on his wheel. Gonzalez takes over, Meyer right there. Tom Baker takes over at the front. Mayfield on his wheel. Hers right behind him. Gonzalez and then Meyer. Le Professeur. Uli Meyer is able to take over that nickname because we haven't seen Emile Durone recently. So we've now appointed Uli Meyer as Le Professeur. Uli is the thesis advisor, as I understand it, for frequent local trackie Spencer Mulder, he of the famous Mulder family. 46 laps left, and Uli Meyer is leading this race. And now it's Baker. Mayfield, Hers, Gonzalez, and then Meyer. Mayfield at the front. He is a wily veteran track cyclist. And I am sure he is out here to rip off legs and take some names. 44 to go. Meyer takes over the front from Gonzalez. We are still Grupo Compacto, as my friend, the late Jeremy Story would say. 43 laps left, so we're going to get a sprint in a couple of laps. Three laps. You excited there, scoring team? Have you got your cameras trained? Have you got your eyes on the line? Are you watching for sprint lane violations? Mayfield leads them around. 42 to go. They're going to get the bell the next time. Mayfield on the front. Hertz on his wheel. Gonzalez right there. Everybody's right there. Mayfield takes off. Herd's with him. Bell lap. 200 to go. It's still Mayfield, but Hers coming fast. Gonzalez right there. And at the line, it's going to be Hers, Gonzalez, and Mayfield for third. Uli Meyer just cannily sneaking in for a single point. Tom Baker a little adrift, but he's got time to catch up. Field is regrouping, although Hers is still cruising pretty hard. They're not exactly slacking off. Tom Baker's not going to like that. 39 to go. And here we are. Mayfield at the front, pulls up. Gonzalez on the front. For only a moment, Meyer. So, after one sprint, that would be Willie Gonzalez, 5 points. Matt Hers, 3 points. Robert Mayfield, 2. Uli Meyer, 1 point. Tom Baker still to break his duck, and now looking in danger of going down a lap, unfortunately. 37 laps to go. Baker already up and waiting for the field, conserving his energy. Meyer leads them around. Now it's Hers on the front. but it's all quiet on the western front of the Western Challenge of this Masters AB Men Points Race final. Mayfield there takes his turn, 35 to go. Three laps remaining in this event. Everybody is back together. Welcome back, Joe. Score sheet is not marked Tom Baker as a minus 20, but maybe they're being generous. Maybe he did catch up. Sprint lap time. Mayfield leads it out. Meyer on his wheel. Gonzalez coming over the top. Gonzalez in a good position. Meyer boxed. Gonzalez still coming, but taking the long way around. Mayfield leads, and at the line it's going to be too close to call. I'll predict Mayfield, Gonzalez, Meyer. Let's see what the judges say. Fourth place points to hers. Baker on the outside looking in. And Meyer leads it around. 20 line to go. And it's all quiet. And it's scored as Gonzalez 5 points, Mayfield in second, Meyer third, Matt Hers takes fourth place in the second sprint. Total points, Willie Gonzalez 10 points, Robert Mayfield 5, Matt Hers 4, Uli Meyer 3 points, Tom Baker 0 points. And it's Herds leading them around. 26 to go. We'll be having some fun. We'd like to welcome all three of our viewers on the YouTube feed. We love each and every one of you. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate the viewing. Check, check. All right, we're back in business on the main mic, so I can do a little mic drop here. Check, 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 check. All right. You'll be pleased to know that I am now fully mobile once again as we take a look at the race situation. On the score sheet, it's still Willie Gonzalez everywhere, with Robert Mayfield a close second, 23 laps left, so we are timed for one more sprint in 3 laps, and you can see the pace picking up. Herds leading it out. Uli Meyer, le professeur, has a plan. And he's gone, baby, gone at 22 to go. He's going to try and win this sprint from 2 laps out. Brave work, but he knows this track better than any of these other riders, excepting possibly Tom Baker. Meyer still leading it. Mayfield leading the chase. Hers and Gonzalez on the wheel. Oh, Meyer's still there with 2 lengths. He's got it, I think. He's got it. Meyer, Mayfield, Gonzalez, and Hers is your finish for the 20-point sprint, 20-lap sprint. So we got 2 more sprints to go. But Uli Meyer has greatly improved his position there with an extra 5 points. So he'll have 8 when we update the scoring. 19 laps left, and we're back to Grupo Compacto. Some very polite bike racing out there, ladies and gentlemen. But in fairness, these are the Masters racers. Most of these old men are now past their bedtime, and yet they're still racing bikes.
You've got an excuse, like jet lag and time zones.
But despite the late time and their desperate need for a cup of cocoa, and a warm place to sleep. All 5 of these riders are still going for it, and they got 17 more laps of going for it in this points race. So after 3 sprints, it scores out as Willie Gonzalez, 12 points. Robert Mayfield, 8. Uli Meyer, 8. Matt Hers, 5. Tom Baker, minus 60. 16 laps remaining in this race. Everybody's together. Hers leads them around. Now it's Baker on the front. He's got Gonzalez, Meyer, and Mayfield right there. Yeah. Yes. 14 laps remaining. Please, if you're enjoying what you see here tonight, tell a friend. Tell them to come out in person. Tell them to check out our live stream. We're desperate for your attention and your approval. Herds leads the group around. 13 to go. Baker takes over. They're going to sprint in 3 more laps, more like 2.5 as they come across the backstretch in front of the grandstand, in front of the adoring and cheering fans who have come out tonight to watch this glorious bit of bike racing we call the Western Challenge. 12 to go. They're going to get the bell the next time around. And taking that bell will be Matthew Hers. And he's got a plan. Meyer pedaling hard to get to his wheel. Hers on the front. Meyer closing. Mayfield and Gonzalez right there. Meyer coming around. Sneaky, but it's Hers at the Hers for the sprint. Meyer second. Mayfield third. Gonzalez takes 4th place. And we will update you on the points, but that's going to work well for both Hers and Meyer as it goes Hers, Meyer, Mayfield, and Gonzalez, just as I told you. So the points after 4 sprints, you could throw a blanket over this field. It's now Gonzalez 13, Meyer 11, Hers 10, Mayfield 10, Baker. Well, we love Tom Baker. Oh, see, Tom Baker is retired. It's okay, Tom. Against these guys, I'd give up too. Hers leads this field around basically with only 3 points separating our 4 riders. I believe you can literally say that for most combinations, the finish of this final sprint is going to be how this race finishes up. 6 to go. Because the points go 10, 6, 4, 2. The only one that has a 2-point delta is 3rd and 4th, and I'm pretty sure if math is hard, we'll figure it out after. But basically, everybody wants to win this last sprint, because if you win this sprint, you'll win the race. 5 to go. Meyer on the front, Hers right there. Mayfield leads them around. 4 to go. Gonzalez there. Now it's Hers on the front with 3 to go. Meyer, Mayfield, and Gonzalez. Right there, it's Mayfield on the front, Gonzalez now on the front. They're going to see 2 to go. Everything to play for. Next sprint wins. Nobody winding it up yet. There's only 150 meters of racing left, boys. It's going to come to the bell. Meyer on the front, but away he goes. Can he hold it? Cheer on your local boy here. It's only Meyer on the front. Mayfield coming over. Gonzalez right there. Hers distant 4th. Meyer holds him off and wins. Holy moly. Folks, that was some clever racing. Uli Meyer takes the win and the race. Mayfield second in the final sprint. Gonzalez third, and that's going to score out as Uli Meyer 21, Willie Gonzalez 17 points, Robert Mayfield 16, and Matt Hearns 12 points. Nicely raced. That was some canny, just doing enough racing by the Professor Uli Meyer. And now we are on to some sprints. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the women's Keirin final. All right, so let's look at our start list for your elite women's Keirin. We have rider 406, Diane Snoblin. Rider 411, McKenna McKee. Rider 420, Allison Lee Meyer. And rider 410, Veronica Ivy. So I think they've done the draw for position. If
No, there's only 4 riders in this race.
All right, cool.
Yep. So we're lining it up. Diane Snoblin will be on the front. So ladies and gentlemen, the Keirin is a glorious and challenging race. Classically created in Japan, where it is a gambling event. But here, please, no gambling. We do not want to lose our event license. I hear there's a guy in the parking lot, though. Anyways, the Keirin will have all of these riders starting on even terms, but they will start the race with a pace bike. So you can see somewhere on the back stretch, we have our Dottie Enable pace rider. He will be bringing his e-bike up, and at the start of the race, he will ride past these riders. They will pick up his wheel, and then he will pace them for, I believe it is 2.5 laps. We'll find out. After he paces them up to speed, he will pull off the track, and then the race begins in earnest. This is an 8-lap race total. So the idea of the pace bike is it brings them up to a very fast-paced start because everybody can ride on the wheel of the bike. And then you have a big fast finish for a couple of laps. You'll see how it works. It's awful fun. So we have the Chief Commissaire Michael giving them their instructions right now. So yeah. Oh, what's that?
Once the passes leave, do they jostle for position or are they assigned in order?
The first rider has to take the wheel of the bike unless another rider. I think actually now the current rule is first rider has to take the wheel. They have to start in order for at least 1 lap, right? And then after the first lap on the bike, they can jostle for position behind the bike if they want.
But that would be risky because you'd be pulling out of the slipstream.
It's not that risky, but it's not very valuable until the bike gets clear because you're neutralized until the bike leaves. I mean, the bike is running at a good pace, you'll see, but... So we're just discussing here with some of my onlookers exactly how this works. So for the first lap of the race, when the bike comes around, the riders will get the gun and they will pick up the wheel of the bike, and they must stay on the wheel of the bike in starting order for 1 lap. So you can see Diane Snoblin is leading out this group right now. McKee on her wheel, Lee Meyer third, and then Veronica Ivy in 4th place. So they will stay on the bike. I believe the bike will do 2.5 laps, and then you'll see the bike pull off the track. And once the bike pulls off the track, the riders are free to race at full speed. So you can see we're on the pacing position. The riders are now free after this lap to take any spot they want. Or actually, they've been free for a couple laps because it's down to 5 already. Now see 4 to go here. Still on the bike. And I believe, and with 3.5 to go, the bike pulls off and the race is on. Snoblin immediately overtaken by McKee. McKee wants the front of the race. 3 to go. McKee is gone, baby, gone. Snoblin right on that wheel. Lee Meyer trying to get into position. Ivy coming from the rear. 2 to go. And it's still McKee. Snoblin right there. Lee Meyer waiting for a moment. Ivy lurking in the back. Full lap. Snoblin on the front still. Can't you do it from the front? And at the line, it's going to be Snoblin, McKee, Lee Meyer, Ivy. All right. Next on our menu of Western challenges, we have the Elite Men, Kieran. So let's take a look at this event and find out who we got. So, that Elite Women's, Kieran, was pretty spicy. Final trap time for the last lap was 54.5 kilometers an hour. Some fast speeds there. And a very close finish with Snoblin just edging out McKee by less than 1/10 of a second. And now I'd like to introduce you to your Kieran finalists for the men. At the bottom of the track for the Gluttman Simpson team, number 510, Matthias Guillemette. You saw him recently winning the Madison Scratch Race. Right above him, racing for the Mighty Cycling Club, Scott Wanip, number 522. Slotting in above him, also from the Washingtons, although he says to me he is originally from Texas, it's Big Tex himself, Andrew Carlberg, number 501. And then 503, racing for the Independents. Actually, he's listed as Burnaby Velodrome Club, but we know him as the Man in Black, Sage Deleuze. And last but not least, the Edmonton Destroyer, Tyler Davies. He's racing for his dad's team, Jubilee Cycle. So I'll tell you why, as we wait for the bike to come around, why Tyler Davies is known as the Edmonton Destroyer. Yeah. A couple of years ago, for a Western Challenge much like this one, Tyler Davies went out in the match sprints, and he was racing against a couple boys from Edmonton who came all the way here to steal our points, win our medals. And in successive match sprints, Tyler Davies saw not one, but 2 of the Edmonton riders off. At which point on their Instagram live, whatever it is, or reel or stream, I don't know how social media works really, the nice boys from Edmonton referred to Tyler Davies as the Destroyer of Edmontonians. A title which he wears proudly. However, whether it will do him any good today is an open question, because the closest thing we have to an Edmontonian is Andrew Big Tex Carlberg, as he hails from Edmonds, Washington. But I am informed reliably that Edmonds, Washington is not, in fact, Edmonton, Alberta. 4 laps to go. We're going to see the bike pull off right now. It's Kiamet on the front, and he immediately pulls up, and he's going to let Wanab lead it out. Wanab will take that. He's followed around by Carlberg. Big Tex. And then it's Deleuze. The other guy, Davies. Carlberg to the front. 2 to go. Carlberg looking strong. He wants to lead this and win it from the front. Davies on his wheel. No, wait, that's Deleuze on his wheel. Bad lap. Deleuze in second. Carlberg leads. Can Deleuze come over? Carlberg, big and strong. And at the line, it's going to be Big Tex. Carlberg, Deleuze, Davies, and then Matthias. Oh, watch your lines there at the finish, boys. That was a close one. That was a fast one. I hope you enjoyed that, because it does not get much better than that when you're talking about a Kieran finish. It would have had to be a reasonably large blanket, but you could have thrown a blanket over the top 4. Trap speed on the final lap was 63.036 kilometers an hour. Andrew Carlberg leading it from bell to finish. Nice job, boys. Up next, we've got the last but certainly not least event of the night. We have the Madison. This is a Madison, it's described as a Madison points race. I'm going to have to get some clarification. I thought all Madisons were points race, but I think what they mean is the points will predominate. So I'll get some clarification from the scoring gang. I've been reliably informed that my confusion is caused by not reading the Madison rules in the last decade. Anyway, the way this is going to work is this is going to be treated as an omnium. The Madison will be raced as a pure points race. So the most important thing in this Madison is going to be the points. The riders will also carry over the points they earned in the scratch race. So that is their starting points for this Madison points race. So as we bring the riders to the starting line, I will also be introducing you to their starting scores.
We figured out all the hardware and the gimbal. Good. We should never be able to have really fun like that. Tomorrow should be
You know how I figured out the microphone so no echo?
Wow. Unless you take an input from those speakers. Oh, from the speaker.
Yeah.
That'll work. Yeah.
At least no echo.
Were you getting?
Sometimes the switchboard didn't filter out the echo. So it was getting essentially the mid and then.
Yeah, it was like I was hearing you talk, but I was also hearing what you said like 30 seconds ago at the same time.
The way that I'll get that when I'm checking the feeds with OBS is if I'm listening to the live stream from YouTube, because that'll have one. Yeah. So that's not meaningful in terms of that's actually being heard by anybody except the monitor. You. YouTube will have normal sound, we'll have normal sound in the but that's giving you both the original sound and then if you have the YouTube stream unmuted, you'll get the delay. So you don't actually have to worry about figuring both, but what you do is just mute the YouTube stream and just
check the audio every so often to make sure the level.
Either way, I don't know. If it works, it's not stupid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce you to some bike racers. And away we go on this Madison. You already know how a Madison works. Teams of two. Riders who are racing will be below the blue line. Riders who are not racing will be above the blue line. We've got 5 teams for you. And they're all out there. For the Glotmans, we have Ethan Agrodnichuk, I believe, on the front with Matthias Guillemette as the relief rider, and he's coming in nice and early. So I believe that's Agrodnichuk in the white helmet and Guillemette switching out in the black. Who knows, really? Your red truck team there on the front, that's Sean Richardson. Oh, sounds like a technical difficulty. Oh, one of our Cycling BC riders has gone down, so Parker Swanstrom will be doing a little bit of a solo effort as Mark Sato gets his equipment sorted out. Sean Richardson for the Mosaic Red Truck team leading it out, and he's teamed with Campbell Parrish, who is swinging in now. The couple of punks, number 1 is the black team. Sox Wilcox currently in, but he's about to hand off to Alexander Mearson. And then we've got Purple 7, represented by Sarah Van Dam and Nairi Baraklov. And I believe that's Sarah on the line right now with Nairi above the blue. And we're keeping an eye out to see how Mark Sato is doing, because I suspect Parker Swanstrom's getting a little tired. And it looks like they're still struggling over there. Oh, yeah, Sato's still getting attended to. As we see the swap, and I think that's... If I'm reading my results right, this will be Baraklov in now for the purple team, and Van Dam on the stairs line above the blue. But at the front, we've got the Glotmans. And I think that's Agrodnichuk taking the bell. And he's going around for a sprint. First sprint. Agrodnichuk and the Glotmans take it. Team Black second. Oh, and a nasty, junky exchange by the Mosaic team. And I think they've just decided to leave Richardson in there. So, Ted Course is now Glotman Black, Mosaic Red Truck Purple, and Mark Sato's back, baby. After a long rest in the pits, he's giving his Parker Swanstrom a well-needed break. 68 laps remaining, and after the first sprint, well, we'll have that result for you in a moment. All right, first sprint, Glotman, Punks, Red Truck, Purple. So it's 5, 3, 2, and 1. I don't have the aggregate results for you, but oh well. 66 laps to go. Purple's on a tear. They are trying to take a lap here. So, with me now informed that the Madison, in living memory has become a different event, it still matters to take a lap because that'll be worth 20 points. But as hard as the purple team is working in there, a big Larry sprint. I think that's Van Dam in, Baraklaw out. And now we're swapping.
Who's wearing the white helmet? Ron Matias or Ron? That looks like a Ron Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right, I've got a definitive answer. So it's a Grodnichuk on the front right now in the white helmet for the Glotmans. But it's Murison coming over the top and looking for the sprint with 21 to go. Although Team Black is... That's Murison. Is he going to... This is going to be complicated. Oh! So at the line, Black, Glotman, Purple, and then I think it was the Mosaic team. But they were all doing exchanges just as they got to the sprint finish. Almost tactically. And I believe that's Bearclaw throwing in there Van Dam. But at the front, it's now the Black Punks, which I think that is Wilcox, and now he's exchanging poles with the Glotman rider, Guillemette. That's so. Bearcloth and Van Dam having to do a pretty high exchange. Kind of complicated there as there was a lot of traffic, but they found their way through, and now you've got your leading group of four. Mark Sato and Parker Swanstrom trying to get back on terms, but it's a long haul. That's what happens when one of your teammates spends half the first two sprints in the pits. 55 to go. And after two sprints, it's Glotman 8 points, the Punks in Black 8 points, Purple 7 3 points, Red Truck 2 points, and Cycling BC 1 point. And right now on the front of the race, it's still Glotman, Punks, Purple, Red Truck, Cycling BC. And that's Parker Swanstrom trying to get back on terms with the peloton. 53 laps to go. They got 3 to go for the next sprint. I think that's Guillemette leading it out for the Glotmans. And Glotman's going to do its exchange on the sprint lap. The Punks are going to try and catch a march on them. But fresh legs coming in, but it's Murison. Not many people can out-sprint him, and there we go. And then he gets right on terms with the Glotmans again. So it's Punks, Glotman, and then we've got Mosaic and the Purples. I believe that's Bearcloth out, Van Dam in. And then we've got the Glotmans throwing. And then it's Punk Red. That being Sox Wilcox on the wheel of the Glotmans. Uncharacteristic pull-up. They're sharing the work. But it looks like Campbell Parrish is going to get across to them with the Mosaics. 47 to go. And the purple team about to do its exchange. This is Madison racing at his best and smoothest, although there was a touch of wheels, it looked like, there between Parrish and the back of John Wilcox. You don't want to do that too often. Only so many times you're going to get away with it. We're coming around to the fourth sprint, 5 to go before that sprint. And the exchanges are looking a little more leisurely. Glotman exchanges, the Punks exchange. Purple team is about halfway around to its exchange. Mosaic exchanges, so got to watch out if you're purple, because there's been 3 fresh exchanges, and now you're sort of soloing there, and I think that's... Yep. Oh, thanks. Oh, and I've been informed now the aggregate points are updated. Nice. So, after 3 sprints, including the points with the previous races tonight, here it goes. Glotman Simpson, 31 points. Punks in Black, number 1, 23 points. Red Truck, 17 points. Purple Sevens, 11 points. Cycling BC, 5 points. And away we go. Sprint lap, Glatman leads. Mosaic right there. Purple 7 exchanging, Black Punks coming over. At the line it's gonna be Glatman, Mosaic, and I think that Cycling BC gets third place, but down a lap, and then the Punks will sneak in for fourth place points. Little complicated. You win some, you lose some. Third sprint has been scored as follows. Punks, Glotmans. Oh wait, I gotta wait for the update. I think that's the last sprint. But Cycling BC has lost a lap, so that'll change the results. Sprint 4 goes Glotman, Red Truck, Cycling BC, and couple of Punks. So your updated points tally: 36 points, Glotman. Couple of Punks, 24. Red Truck, 20. Purple 7, 11. And Cycling BC, negative 13. And we've got the Glotmans just trucking out there, and they're working with the Cycling BC team now. Or if you can call it working, it looks like more like they're trying to take a lap, and they're well on their way as they're catching up. Mosaic doing a relaxed exchange, Purple on a desperate exchange, the Punks swapping, but here comes the Glotman, and they're going to do their exchange, and they're going to start taking laps on the rest of the field here. I believe that's a Grundachuk in. Matthias out. So Ted, of course, I believe is still on the yellow and black riders of the Glotman Simpson team. And they're riding relaxingly high despite the fact that that is the active rider. Might be just trying to keep clear. I'm actually really not sure what's going on. Grundachuk may have lost track of the fact that he's the lead rider. He was checking with the finish line to be sure. I think he just wanted to make sure he didn't catch these other riders before the point sprint. Some very canny racing there. And in goes the other Glotman, and they take the points for first. They are still indicated as the lead rider on the field. Second place, I think, is going to go Mosaic, and then it's either the Punks or the Purples for third and fourth. As Murison swings in Wilcox. And it looks like that's Campbell Parish on the front for Cycling BC. But Ted, of course, remains on the Glotmans, and you can see the speed they're moving at. Everybody else seems to be in a different gear. The lead now is Glotman Simpson. The only chase is listed as Red Truck. So, except if you look around, you'll see that Glotman Simpson is only about 200 meters behind the Red Truck rider. So, this is getting messy. Current status, Glotman Simpson is credited with going up a lap on the field. Cycling BC down 2. So, points in aggregate after 5 sprints. 61, Glotman Simpson. Punks, 24. Red Truck, 23. Purple 7, 12. And Cycling BC, negative 31. 25 to go. And there's the Glotmans. No mercy, no rest. They're still tapping it out. They're chasing down their latest victim. It looks like they're trying to put down the Mosaic team. The Red Truck Mosaic, Sean Richardson riding that right now like he was a desperate man and looking to throw in Campbell Parish, which will happen right here. But the deadly duo of Richardson, or of Matthias and Grundachuk is just doing the damage here. I think that's a Grundachuk on the go right now. And the leaders are listed still as Glotman Simpson, followed by Red Truck. So this is Ted, of course, coming through the laps at the bell. So these two riders will be sprinting for points here for first and second, and I think that the Punks and the Purples will be sprinting for third and fourth when they get the bell. And the sprint goes to Mosaic, but it'll be a bitter consolation prize because they've lost a lap there in the process. Or maybe they haven't. I think that the scoring I have says they are still on even terms, except that the Glotman-Simpson team took a lap on the whole field, so they haven't taken a second lap on Mosaic. But Richardson and Glotman are now starting to chase down everybody else, so they might take a lap on the field. They're about a half a lap behind the Punks and the Purples. And after 6 sprints, with 2 to go, the scoring is Glotman 64, Red Truck 28, the Punks in Black 26, Purple 7, 13, Cycling BC minus 31. 16 to go. This is the chaos and the madness of the Madison at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, watch them crossing the line. You can see that's the Glotman-Simpson and the Mosaic Red Truck team overtaking Cycling BC. And so now we're seeing the exchange by the Glotmans. And then it's Campbell Parrish still on their wheel. Mark Sato following them around. Sato will be swapping in with Parker Swanstrom. The Cycling BC team kind of had their race derailed by an early technical problem for Mark Sato, and after that they just haven't been able to get back on terms. 13 remaining. Parrish out, Richardson in. Eventually I'll figure out which one's Guillemette and which one's a Grodnichuk, but it hardly matters. Whichever one it is, they're leading the race right now as Glotman-Simpson comes around. They will be 10 a course and they will take some sprint points here, I think. They're making it hard for the judges to decide given where they caught other riders. Because I think Glotman has now gone up a lap on the black team and the purple team. Mosaic is about half a lap down. They're sort of getting caught out by the Glotman-Simpson team's better ability to manage traffic. It's one of the classic challenges with a Madison. So sprint 7 of 8 is scored as Glotman, Red Truck, Cycling BC, and Purple 7. Here is your up-to-date results with the laps updated as well. Glotman-Simpson, 69 points. Nice work. Red Truck, 31 points, technically on even terms on laps. Well, even terms with themselves. Red Truck is effectively put as no laps up, no laps down. Couple of Punks in Black, 6 points after going down a lap. Purple 7, minus 6. They also went down a lap. And Cycling BC is down 3 laps at minus 49 points. So we have 1 sprint left, but these last 5 laps are going to be a victory parade for the Glotman-Simpsons. And indeed, it's looking kind of like all the other places are kind of sort of settled. Punks and Purples are still duking it out for 3rd place. A good result in the final sprint could definitely turn over that duo because they're only about 12 points apart. Actually, I guess it couldn't because there's only 10 points for the final sprint. So honestly, I think we've got more than 10 points between all the riders. So I can unofficially tell you that barring some big lapping and mislapping, your results will be Glotman, Red Truck, couple of Punks, Purple 7, and Cycling BC. Let's see how it shakes out. We can just enjoy the action now as a clinic is being put on how to Madison by the Glotmans. Just watch this exchange. Just glad I didn't jinx it there. And they're being chased down by the Purples and the Madison and the Trek Red Truck team. They're going to catch the Punks any moment. That's Sox Wilcox. And at the line, it's going to be Glotman, Punks, Cycling BC, and Purple 7 for the points. And as I said, though, your results will be your winners tonight on the aggregate, Glotman-Simpson. Second place, Red Truck powered by Mosaic. Third place, the Couple of Punks in Black. Fourth place, the Purple Sevens. And overcoming as much adversity as they could, the Cycling BC duo takes a creditable fifth place in a challenging race.
We'll have everyone go and
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the medal ceremonies for today. So please assemble at the podium area in the infield. Spectators, you are also welcome to come down and watch from the infield. And we will do the award ceremonies. And I believe those will be presided over by the Waffle House himself, Hans Waffle House. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings my part of the evening to an end. My name is Ryan Cousineau. I will be back here with you either in person or on the internets tomorrow.